Hey everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Welcome. I hope you're all enjoying your day. Today we're going to be making some faux wax seals, and I hope I remembered everything. But you will need, and we're also going to do some different types of document folding, because a lot of people put ephemera, authentic antique ephemera in their journals, and sometimes it doesn't fit the way they would like it to, so there are some folds out there that you can use, and you can use your faux wax seals on them. So you will need some documents, whatever you want to put your wax seals on, some colorant. Now I have done these with crayons, I've done them with alcohol markers, and I've done them with watercolor. And today I'm going to be using watercolor, and I'll explain to you why I did not like the crayons. You will need an embossing folder of your choice. I liked this one in particular because of the scroll work and things like that. I thought it just represented a classic look. You will need some candles. You will need some glue, any kind of glue, or you could also probably use acrylic medium. You will need a hair dryer, which I'm going to be shutting this off, the video off, so my hair dryer, so everything is silent while I melt the wax. You will need some punches or scissors, and I think that's it. Oh, and you will need some packaging. Okay, we're doing this on packaging, and if you want to double your packaging so your faux seals are a little bit thicker, you can do that, as long as you can cut through it or punch through it. Mine are just single. That was good enough for me. So what I'm going to do here is put my mat on the table. Oh, you will need some tabs. I have some scraps here for tab making. So whatever you want to make your tabs, whatever paper you choose to make your tabs, you'll need that. So I'm going to put my other mat on here so that the heat doesn't warp anything. And then I'm going to just show you this in steps. I'm not going to do the embossing. I'm just going to do the folding and the waxing and the coloring, because I have to let things dry. And I don't want to take all the time to do that. So I have my mat here to protect I have these cardboard watercolor block backs, which are thick, to protect my mats. So, and I would suggest, I get really worried about using a heat gun with wax, because wax is pretty flammable. So if you're using a heat gun, please be careful. I keep thinking about Longfellow's wife, who caught herself on fire sealing letters and died every time I use a wax candle. So keep that in mind if you have a heat gun that is capable of catching things on fire. So, okay. So as I said, you can use alcohol markers. Mostly what you want is something that is not going to stick to your embossing folder. Now, I have done these with crayons in the past. I do not like it because it stuck to my embossing folder, flaked off on my embossing folder, and then I had to spend quite a bit of time getting all the crayon off my embossing folder. And then I had a dumb moment where it was like, well, I really don't need the crayon for color, so why am I using it? I'm looking for some here to show you specifically what I did not like about it. Some of these dark brownish black ones will probably do. Okay. Well, the crayon wax does give you wax, and it does give you color. I was losing too much detail. As you can see, and let me show you the difference here. Which hopefully, as you can see, between them, there's more detail in some than others. So then I had a dumb moment where I thought, well, I really don't need the crayon, I just need the color and the wax. So then I came up with this method, and I'm much happier with it. So you will need something that when you put it in your embossing folder, it is not going to come off, stain, smear, anything like that. So alcohol markers work for me, watercolor worked for me, acrylics might work, gouache might work. I can't say because I didn't try those, but they might. So I'm just going to color this and do the first couple of steps. And my thinking was, okay, these aren't authentic because you don't have the melted wax, but the melted wax impression circle with the ridged edge, like wax, like a traditional wax seal, but you do have the wax and you do have the color. And that's good enough for some people, and it's good enough for me. So I basically just started with some deep reds, and I probably should be using a different brush. Yeah, let me get a wash brush. I started with some deep reds. I added some black because this is going to dry lighter. And what I really want, this is pretty close to the wax seal candles that you use for wax seals. And you do not need a red candle. That's just, I'm going to try it here at the end. See how it goes. So that's more of a crimson. And then I began to add some warm reds. And I'm probably going to dry this with the hair dryer too, since I don't have a dry one. Because we have to put a top coat on it. And then to deepen the color even further, I added a little wash of black. And then I went over it again with red. Because what I really want is a very deep dark red. And I think my alcohol markers are starting to dry out, so that's why I'm not using them, even though I did have the perfect color in there. And what else was I going to say? I had the perfect color, but oh, they didn't have any more, so I couldn't buy another pack. Okay, so I'm going to dry this real quick. So I'm going to silence the video here. Okay, so the next step is you're going to need some glue. Doesn't matter what kind of glue. Clear glue, white glue, doesn't matter. I've used both. Maybe I'll use my clear just because I have more of it. And we want to put a coat on here because I don't want anything to lift. And it will also help you get a very good impression from your emboss that won't disappear once the moisture from the candle touches it, from the wax. And because your wax is sitting on top of a surface that's kind of like non-absorbent, it's going to look a lot more waxy. So just put a very, very thin coat of glue over your entire surface. And then let that dry completely. Absolutely completely, or you're going to have a disaster in your embossing folder. And it's going to peel off the paper and everything will be ruined. So make that coat as thin as possible. And then let that dry completely. Okay, I'm going to put that somewhere else because I already have one here ready to go. So let me get some of this glue off of here. Sorry for this messy board here, but I need the protection. So you're going to want to tape this down, otherwise it's just going to fly all over the place. When you get your get the air on it. Okay. Don't worry about catching an edge because you're not going to be able to punch that out anyway, probably. Okay, so get a candle, white or red, it doesn't matter. Once you melt the red, it's going to be somewhat translucent, so it's not going to give you that deep, rich color. So I'm just going to use a white candle, and I'm going to heat it with my heat this with my hair dryer, and it will melt this candle very easily. And then I'm going to cover this surface with wax. Okay, that's pretty much all it takes. Try not to get too much, which I did, because I'm going to have to melt that again because I see a wax puddle there and it's turning white. But all I have to do is remelt it and that will disappear. So let me show you this. I mean, it might be hard to tell. Let me stand up and see if I can get you to see how glossy that is. Okay, looks like gloss, but it's wax. Okay, so then we need a punch, and I think I'm going to use my scallop punch, which is 1 inch. I just like the way it looks. And then we're just going to punch out our faux seals. Then I'm going to show you the wax cracking here in a second, which it might crack a little bit. That might be less noticeable if you use a red candle, but I personally haven't tried it yet, so keep that in mind. But they really are quite lovely. And I'll use these on envelopes and all over the place. Okay, good enough. Okay, so let me show you this, an example of some of this cracking. Doesn't always happen. Some pieces it doesn't happen on at all. Maybe it's just a matter of my wax was too thick. So I don't know if, hopefully you can see that white on some of them. But that's very simple. You're just going to take your blow dryer here. I'm just going to turn this on for a second. There we go. Just take your blow dryer and remelt it. Disappears. Okay, so you can even do that after you get it glued on your piece. So, okay, let's get to our document folding. I hope all of that was explanatory enough. Okay. I saw this from someone, a paper crafter, blogger, who hasn't been on the internet for quite a number of years, it appears. So I can't remember her name. So I did, her last post I think was 2019. So what you're going to need is a tab, and I'll decide my tab after I get this folded. And then you're just going to take your typical document, the way you would fold a document, or a piece of ephemera. And maybe I should have made that in better thirds, but that's okay. Just want to make sure that's going to end up straight. Okay. And then our tab is going to go on this back page. So let me show you this. So that this one's just a double, so that when you open it, it's like that, or like that. Okay, so we'll do two of those. I think. Yeah, I need my big paper for another one, so okay, we'll do two of those. Two small and one large. Okay, so this is actually this back here, okay? So let me get a corner tab thingy here, ticket corner. That'll work. So I'm just going to line this up on here. And if you want to stamp and decorate your tabs, do whatever you do to your tabs, that's fine. Who doesn't love another way to use their tabs? I love tabs. I use them all the time. And Let me get my glue going here, sorry. So I hope you're all enjoying your weather wherever you are. It's lovely, lovely spring here. My crab apple is starting to bloom. It didn't bloom last year. First time in 20 plus years I haven't seen it, didn't see it bloom. So that was kind of weird, but thankfully it's back because it is stunningly beautiful. I love the spring trees. I forget which ones. It's not dogwood. It might be cherries. Blooming downtown. They're absolutely gorgeous. Okay, make sure that's even. And then we're not going to glue down this side, okay? We're going to use that for our wax seal. Let me get the one I just melted. Like that. And then that will close our document. So I think that was quite lovely on her part. And hopefully mine is nice and straight. So we're just going to put glue on half of our little circle there. And hold that down. Don't get glue on our nice wax finish. And there, it will seal. It is heavy enough. Okay, there we go. And there's our document. And then again, to open it, it's just like that. Okay, let me get all of this burnished so it stays flat. And there you have a sealed document. Okay, where are we? 30? Okay, maybe I should get on to the next one. Okay, the other one is simply as if you're doing the faux envelopes, or not the faux envelopes, the easy envelopes. And I think I want mine to have a front like this instead of a point. And then we're going to go get another seal and seal that. Okay, so there's two. Okay, so if you want to reopen it, there's your document, and that could be a little folded a little better there toward the fold. Let me straighten that up. So it's not glued down, it's just held lightly in place. Okay, let me get this one so I can remember. Yeah, okay. Here's my punch. Okay, so this one I used this punch just to make a decorative edge. But you don't have to. You can also use your border punches if you want to make a pretty edge there on your document, like that. Okay, so you're just going to fold one side in as far as you want. It's up to you to fit your fit in your journal. That will be dependent upon your journal size. Doesn't look straight. Why doesn't that look straight? Okay. Then yeah, that doesn't matter. Okay. That's just in half. Then I'm going to fold this in half. I've seen this done several ways, so that's why I'm confused. So I have a fold in half and a fold over. And another fold over. I'm putting this on this side. I think this is still going to work. Okay. Should I have done that backwards? Yes, I should have. I wanted this on the outside. Right? What's going on here? Okay, got it. Sorry. I want to make sure all my text is on the outside. And then that goes like that. And then I'm going to tuck this into there, like so. There we go. And I'm not going to put a seal on here anywhere, unless it's on this edge or something where it's not actually holding anything, but it can be decorative. Okay. So now I'm just going to punch this edge so I have a little bit of decoration in there. Hopefully. Let me find a place to get my bearings. Whoops. Oops, that's way off. That's way off too. Why is that happening? Operator error. Oh well. Doesn't matter. It's still going to be decorative. Okay. So let's pull this back. The way it's supposed to go. And there is our third document fold. So let me go over that again so I don't confuse everybody. Fold in half. Fold one side over a little bit. Fold the other side over. Fold in half again, you might say. And fold a little edge for tucking. Yes, that was how it was. Fold in half again, and a little edge for tucking. Okay, there you go. And that's a nice little tuck too. Okay, so there you go. 3 document folds and your lovely wax seals. And remember, if you get some white on there, just reheat it again, or try it with a red candle and maybe you'll prevent that. And don't forget, whatever you use, make sure it's not going to flake off your embossing folder onto your embossing folder. Flake or smear onto your embossing folder. So I wish I had that. Okay, I'm just going to bring one up here to show you close up and try to get. There we go. Hopefully, this light is not always cooperative, and I see that it's very dark. Hopefully, you see it better than I do. But it does indeed look waxy. So, okay everyone, I hope you find this helpful, and if you don't want the bother of messing with wax seals, really the way I thought of it is if I have the color and I have the wax, that's authentic enough for me. So I hope you find this helpful, and thanks again everyone so much for your time. And I will see you next time. Bye.